So you just got your hands on a BMW E90 and you're wondering, how can I modify this car? Well, luckily for you, this guide will break down everything you need to know about modifying your BMW the right way. We're going to be covering cosmetics, performance, handling, suspension, everything you need to know about this platform. This guide has you covered. First up, performance mods. So the BMW E90 was available with 4 different engines: N51, N52, N54, and N55. And they all have different tuning potential, and here's what I recommend. For N51 or N52 owners, this is what I personally drive. Where I would personally start, you could either go with the N54 intake manifold or the 3-stage intake manifold from the 330i. If you already have a 330i, you don't need to worry about the intake manifold, and I believe the Sulev N51s already have it. The 3-stage intake manifold is better for daily driving, as you're getting most of your power in the lower RPMs. However, the N54 intake manifold is the better option for many reasons. For one, the 3-stage intake manifold requires DISA valves, and if you are going with the 3-stage intake manifold, I highly recommend replacing the DISA valve if they did already come with it, as these tend to fail and it can sometimes be catastrophic. So that's one, you don't have to deal with the DISA valve. Number 2, the N54 intake manifold gives you more power, but the only thing is most of the power is at the higher RPMs. So this is better for your track cars. Both of these are very great options. Another really good upgrade for the N52 is the 22 RPD velocity stacks. Not only does this give you power gains, but just listen to how insane these sound. Next up, you're going to want to go with catless headers. Now, back in the day when I first got this car, there was only really one option, and that was active auto work. But now you can get the exact same headers off of AliExpress for a fraction of the price. Another mod that I recommend for this platform is a cold air intake. You have the InGen cold air intake, you have the AFE intake. Now, if you really want to spend some money and you want to flex, there's an intake option, the OEM BMW Performance intake. This is a crazy system. It's carbon fiber and it's extremely hard to come by. I have seen a few people who have it, and I've heard really good things about it. Now, realistically, this is probably the best option, but you would have to be really lucky to come by one of these at a price that's not absolutely crazy. Another option for the intakes on the N52 and N51 is to do the Dine-In mod. This mod consists of running a pipe from your fog light all the way into the intake. This is the optimal way to make some actual power gains out of a cold air intake, so definitely do check this out if that's important to you. Don't expect any crazy gains off of a cold air intake. It's mostly just for sound. Now, there's many exhaust setups that you can go with. Many people just start with a muffler and resonator delete. I have heard that and it does sound great, but I'm just not the biggest fan. One of the best setups I can recommend is a 3-inch single with a Y merge from the headers, a vibrant resonator back to a single exit muffler. This will give you great sound with minimal drone, and it'll also give you some power gain. I also used to run the Active Auto Work Gen 2 muffler. This sounds great if you pair it with the headers, but if you don't have the headers yet, I don't recommend this, as it's just really expensive and it won't give you the sound that you think it will. I recommend going with 22 RPD for the tune, and if you have a 325 or a 330i with the ZF transmission, I highly recommend getting XHP. XHP is a transmission tune that will completely transform the driving feel of your car. I have it on my personal car. It's a night and day difference if you have a manual car, but I do recommend a clutch delay valve delete. We'll just make it so there's no delay in your clutch when you're shifting gears. Now, that was just if you want to keep it naturally aspirated. That doesn't mean you can't boost these cars. My friend Raymond supercharged his E90 and he's pushing 480 wheel, which is crazy. So yes, you can supercharge these cars. You can even turbocharge these cars, but that will have to be its own video. Let me know if you guys want to hear more about that. Not many people have done it, so I think it'll be really cool to show you guys how you can do it. Now, for N54 and N55 owners, it's a little bit easier and you're going to be pushing a lot more power with these mods. It's pretty much going to be your common mods for boosted BMWs: downpipe, charge pipe, intake, tune, you know, the creme de la creme of BMW.
Downpipe and tune is fucking amazing.
For downpipes, you have VRSF, ARM, and CTS. And for your intercooler, you can go with VRSF or CSF. And for the cold air intake, you have the BMS DCI or the VRSF inlets. Once again, there's other options for this platform. You can go with the Doc Race single turbo kit. Not only does it sound insane, it's crazy fast. If you're looking to do this route, be ready to spend a lot of money and risk your engine blowing up, unless you fully build the motor, of course. Now, for the turbo guys, the tune is everything. A simple stage 1 or stage 2 tune will give you so much gain, especially if you pair it with the right supporting mods, which I just mentioned. Now, for your tune, 3 of the most common platforms for tuning these cars is MHD, BM3, and JB4. From what I've heard, it's personal preference, but most most of the guys I've seen are running MHD, but as always, do your own research, see what you prefer, and then go from there. Now for suspension and handling. All the power in the world does not matter if your car is handling like a boat. So the guys who just want to get really low in these cars, I personally have mine bagged on squeaky clean air. If you're on a budget, I recommend going with the BC Racing Extreme Low Coilovers. I wouldn't bother going with the BRs if you're looking to get low, especially if you're all-wheel drive. The front end on those cars do not get low enough, so go ahead and just skip to the extreme lows from there. But that doesn't go to say that the BRs are bad. If you're looking for a budget setup that's good quality and you just want to get a little low, have adjustable dampening, ride height, and something that you can daily and take to the track, I do recommend the BC Racing BR coilovers. But if you're looking to go with the track setup, I do recommend KW. I'm not one to ever recommend lowering springs, but hey, if you're on a budget and you just want to get low right now, there is option. I would recommend the H&R lowering spring. It is recommended to match it with the proper struts and shocks. I know most guys don't do that. They just let their shocks blow and then upgrade to coilovers after. If you want to get really low but you don't want to break things, this is what I recommend and I have on my cars: air suspension. There are many options for air suspension. The most common is airlift, but I personally recommend Squeaky Clean Air. They have great customer service, great products, and they're made in Canada. I've been running the Squeaky Clean Air for a while now. I've been running it all winter. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. Now, if you want really good handling, you're going to need the M3 control arms. This is only for the rear wheel drive guys, unfortunately, but the M3 control arms are a direct fit for these cars. And from what I've heard, it makes a huge difference for your handling. Pair that up with some iBox sway bars and some strut braces, you're going to have a great handling. Now that you got your suspension, throw on a set of 18 by 9.5 wheels with an offset of anywhere around 30 to 22 and you're good to go. Now for section 3, which is my personal favorite, cosmetics. E90 looks great stock, but this platform has so much potential to look way better. I would start off with upgrading your bumpers. For the front bumper, I recommend the M Sport bumper, whether it's LCI or pre-LCI, or the M3 style bumper. There is also the F80 bumper, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it looks good on this car. The body lines just don't match it, but I have seen a few guys who have been able to pull it off, so if you can do it, props to you, but I just think the other options look way better on these cars. And for the rear, I recommend the M Sport bumper, especially because you can swap out the diffuser. There's also the option for the M3 rear bumper. My personal favorite combination for the rear is the M Sport bumper with the Polluted Paradise rear diffuser. Now let's talk front lips. Honestly, the front lip can make or break your car. We've all seen those cars with the universal lip on and it just absolutely makes it look terrible. So these options will vary depending on the type of bumper you have. We're going to start off with the base model bumper. You have a few options. My personal favorites are these two. Now these ones are simple and clean, but it makes your car look super low, and that alone makes it so much more aggressive. And at the same time, it's not doing too much. For the M3 bumper, which is what I have, you have many different options for this bumper. These cars also have a great selection of hoods you can go with. In my car, I'm running a GTS hood. These come in metal and carbon fiber. These are my favorite hoods for these cars. It's just so aggressive and it just suits the body lines of the car so well. Definitely can't go wrong with this hood. You also have the M3 hood. Once again, it also comes in carbon fiber. Another option you can go with is an OEM LCI hood. Now this one, you're going to have to pair it with an LCI bumper and LCI grills. And for the GTS hood, it's the same case, but I have been seeing the GTS hood come in pre-LCI. The OEM LCI hood is nice, simple, clean. If you just want to make the car look just a little bit newer, this is a great option. And the good part about this is that it's really cheap to do. You can just go to a junkyard, get an LCI bumper, hood, and grills, and you're set. Now speaking of kidney grills, go-to kidney grills for BMW is obviously the double slack grills. Most commonly come in gloss black, but you can also get them in carbon fiber. Now let's talk headlights. Headlights completely changed the look of the front end on these cars, and nowadays you have so many options. Back when I first got the car, there was really only two options, and I have one of them on my car right now, but I am upgrading them soon. I'm personally upgrading mine from these eBay headlights to these F90 style headlights from the Beamer bin, and as you can see, it makes the car look completely brand new. You also have the G80 style headlights, G20 style headlights, and many more as you can see. If you do want a set of new headlights, definitely check out the Beamer bin. You can use my discount code MISFIRES to save money on your order. Their shipping is super quick and their customer service is great. Another option you have if you want a one-of-one look is going with a set of custom headlights. Now this is a lot of work. Of course, you have to take them apart. You have to know how to build the headlights. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube that can teach you how to do this. New headlights are a little pricey, so if this is out of your budget, you can't go wrong with a set of OEM headlights with super clean lenses. Throw in a set of Lux Angel Eyes and they're gonna look great. Moving on to the rear, we have taillights. Now the most common option is to do the LCI swap. This consists of swapping the trunk for an LCI trunk and putting the OEM LCI taillights on. But now nowadays we have many more options, whether you have pre-LCI or LCI. Some taillights that look best on these cars are the GTS taillights and the sequential LCI taillights. Now the Beamer bin carries these pre-LCI and LCI, which is great if you don't want to swap the trunk, but you still want the look of the LCI taillights. And they also do carry both of these options in clear and red lenses. If you want more of the OEM look, you have the first option of the LCI taillights, and for pre-LCI you have the white line or black line taillights. Now a lot of you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this, but I personally like the shape of the pre-LCI taillights. Hate on it all you want. I don't know, it just matches the body of the car so much better in my opinion, but both look great nonetheless. Moving on to the side skirts, you can go with M Sport side skirts or M3 side skirts. Pair them with a set of extensions and you're good to go. And we also have the classic winged mirror caps. You can either do carbon fiber or gloss black, and if you want more of an OEM look, you can always paint match these. Now these cars also have many options for spoilers. My personal favorite is the PSM spoiler. There's two different versions of this. One kicks up higher than the other, but they both look really good on these cars. There is the M4 spoiler. I'm not a huge fan of this. It just doesn't match the body lines of the car, but that is an option if that's what you like. You also have the M Performance spoiler. I did run this once. It's clean, it's not too much, but you can also tell it's there, and it gives the car a little flare in the back. Now if you don't want to just do a spoiler, you can swap the whole trunk, but this is going to be expensive. You can get the CSL trunk in carbon fiber or fiberglass. I plan on trying the carbon fiber one out. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, so let's see if I get it. When I test fit it on, I'll show you guys, and you guys can let me know what you think. Nowadays we do have fender options. You can swap your fenders out for M3 style fenders or F80 style fenders. These both look great. I do plan on getting new fenders. Let me know which one I should go with, but if you're really a baller, you can go full wide body on these cars. You have the Click Tuning wide body kit, the Big Duck Club kit, and the Street Fighter kit. All of these options look insane. I have been looking into these, but this is definitely a crazy flashy option, especially for you stance guys. I mean, everybody loves a wide body.